What's going on, y'all? Peace and light, peace and love. Sister Divine checking in real quick to connect with you for the Pretty Priestess podcast. I wanted to share with you a powerful ritual that I came across working with the power animal of the koala. Now, what makes this extremely powerful is because we are at a time where we are closing the year of the wood snake out. And so last year we closed out that 9 year, and the 9 year is all about endings and everything. And what made this extra significant is that we had some major transits on the generational planets. These are the outer planets. Neptune, that was in Pisces since 2011. Saturn, that was in Pisces since 2023. And then Pluto, no doubt, made it shift into Aquarius after being in Capricorn for the past 11 years. And so this was a really powerful time of transformation, of transition, you understand? And boy, was it a wild ride, because we got to check in on this Piscean energy. Because this Piscean energy is where a lot of secrets, delusion, hidden enemies. This is a blind spot, you understand? And so Neptune being at home in Pisces was really bringing home where a lot of illusion and a lot of delusion has been within our lives. I want to encourage you to check in on your natal chart to see where Pisces lands, because I assure you, this is where that business, the divine wanted us to check in on, so that we can move up out of illusion, delusion, and really get on the business of our highest timeline. And so we'll be moving forward where Saturn will be transitioning out of Pisces, which it has been for the past 3 years, and moving into Aries. And see, this Saturn being in Pisces really was a love shot with that Neptune being in Aries, you understand? Because that Neptune, it held where the deception was at. That's the age of deception Neptune and Pisces was in. But Saturn was about that karma that was connected to this particular age of deception. You know, we get an opportunity to get that shit together. And so since 2023, we've been getting a lot of particular business, getting a lot of revelations, getting a lot of truths moved into our particular ciphers. And Pluto is shifting into Aquarius. It just brought an extra twist on that particular energy. Because Aquarius, even though we look at Uranus with that erratic energy and everything, with quick changes and movements and everything, see, the original ruler of Aquarius is Saturn, make no mistake about it. And Aquarian energy is that business of karma. And so there's a lot of chickens that's coming home to roost at this particular point in time. And so I was rolling through that half-price bookstore. This is one of my locations. I like to show up once in a while and see what may have you in that particular book section. You know, I'm always finding a nice little gem up in that particular piece. I encourage you, go on and check that particular spot out. And at this point in time that I'm talking about, I'm referring to is when I picked up a spirit animal guide called Animal Power by Allison Charles, my bad. And as I started going through there, I started getting a lot of powerful rituals, practices, and really incorporating the medicine of the spirit animals that really helped in allowing me to navigate a lot of these energies during this time in this thing we call ascension. And so now, before we close this year of this snake out right now, That snake, it comes through, it's about transformation. It's about shedding the old and moving forward. And I don't know about you guys, but I think I kind of talked about like a lot of the changes that I have been through. Like spirit has been cleaning house in my particular life. And I'm picking up that this is a potential collective energy, especially for those of us that are really called to operate on higher timelines and see things from higher perspectives. See, we all are in different points and places in our spiritual journey. And so we get the opportunity to make these corrections on that mistake. And this was a wild ride because Neptune, it being in Pisces, during that particular age of deception, and then Saturn bringing the karma of that deception, this gave us that time to get it together. So during these 3 years of Saturn being in Pisces, now soon it's about to shift over in Aries on the 13th. The rose-colored glasses is going to be falling completely off. And the karma of the delusion, of the madness, is going to start rearing its head in this particular time. And you can see it, you heard all of the things that's in the news with the files that's being released and all of the things that's happening with the children. Protect the babies. Protect the babies by any means necessary. See, one of the things too that I learned most importantly during that particular age of deception, I got a special initiation in discernment where we gonna have to learn to start trusting that gut, trusting our intuition as we move forward during this new 165-year cycle and this new 29-year cycle that we're moving into. See, there's a lot of madness and a lot of twisted minds out here that believe that children should be utilized for all type of low-level madness and demon-minded mayhem that's been going on in these particular streets. And a lot of times we've been up under these delusions because people, they show up, they wear these social masks. Those are falling off, you understand? They got a little money in their pocket. They show up publicly, projecting a representative that only mirrors back delusions that make us comfortable. And underneath is a real live devil wearing these masks. So it's imperative that we protect our children by any means. Don't just let these folks out here just take your damn children. Don't just let anybody babysit your babies out here. We got to really make sure that we're putting an extra layer of protection. You call on these angels, these archangels, to help in protecting yourself, your children, your family, your situation, whatever, what have you. Because we are in this realm of free will. And they will not show up to assist you until you call on them. And so it's imperative that we do that. And so now while Saturn is making this move over in the Aries right along with Neptune, oh, it's about to go down in these particular streets, you understand? And for many of us, the harsh truths from coming up out of this age of deception has worn on us. And then we got a whole lot of other activity that's going on in these particular streets. These solar flares, just really increasing our sensitivity, heightening our emotions, keeping us in our feelings. I'm picking up like a lot of that 5 of cup, 5 of pentacle energy, right? Where we feeling left out in the cold. And then a lot of times, like, we release some shit that don't work for us and everything, but then we still mourn what used to be, even though we glad we the hell up out of that madness, but we still find ourselves ruminating on what coulda, shoulda, and would have been. But it was not. It was deception. It was delusion. And so we find ourselves in this energy where we sitting back reminiscing over some things that really didn't matter at the end of the day. Like, let's be glad we caught this lesson and move forward. And so working with these spirit animals, the koala came through. And see, when that koala comes through, the koala comes through to check in on us, making sure that we getting that rest and relaxation that we need. The koala helps us to bring in the energy of calmness. When major shifts is about to happen, that koala is going to help you out. That koala assists us with that mystical knowingness, with that wonder, with our capacity to share love, to have forgiveness, and most importantly, for our release, no doubt. See, when you want to slow down and relax, you want to release anger, when you want to open up to your paternal instincts, and when you want to be less reactive in situations, especially when them emotions get heightened, when you want to release the addiction to the drama and to the stress, and you want to forgive, you want to let go of the grudges, the animosity, when you want to move into a place of trusting that the divine is on the throne so that you can see that bigger picture, you're going to want to work with that particular koala. Because that koala's medicine, it helps us to release these grudges and find that ability to forgive. So let's check in. Is there anybody that we can send this forgiveness to? Now, we can do this energetically, or we can do this upfront and personal. But you want to call on this particular koala, especially if you're struggling, because the koala is going to help you in being more reactive and being less reactive, my bad, and more centered. Is going to help us in evening out our emotions, allowing us to operate with heart-centered clarity so that we're not reacting from a place of ego and defensiveness. Oh, we don't need that because we ain't got time for that shit. The koala comes through to remind us about resting, allowing us to trust that divine order is taking place so that we can go with the flow. So if we find ourselves, if we've been in this space where we pushing too hard, or finding ourselves in these dramatic exchanges, we in states of anxiety, stress, or even if you find yourself being in this space where you've pulled towards this type of way of being, I want to ask you a question. Do you trust things to be different? Because that's the question the koala poses. The koala is here to help you to remember your true divine nature. Aside from all that's going on out here externally, helping us in accessing these ancient truths that live inside of us. Oh, a lot of activations is going down. See, that koala, it represents great Mother Earth energy, that nourishment, the womb energy, the parental love. See, this is about that inner child healing. Is there any healing work that we can do to tend to that inner child or our relationships with our parents or with the children? The koala can help you in navigating that. And so here's this practice that the koala has. See, the koala is associated with the element of clay and with unwinding and relaxation. And so, with this particular practice, you're going to need some healing clay, like bentonite clay. You're going to need about a tablespoon of that particular bentonite clay. And to that, you can use maybe a little more than a teaspoon, because you just a little bit, we talking, just a little bit of water or apple cider vinegar, whatever, what have you. Or mix it up, mess around, use both. But bring it to a consistency that you feel comfortable with working with. And of course, you're going to need that mirror. And standing in front of the mirror in your bathroom, you're going to call upon the koala to work with you in releasing those things that's no longer serving you. You're going to ask the koala to be with you as you relax and restore that love to your being. Then set an intention of what you intend to release, be it an emotion, a relationship, stress, anxiety, whatever, what have you. Do that with love and care. And slowly spread that wet clay on your face or any other part of your body you wish to cover. It's healing for the skin. It's nourishing. And once you finish, you want to give yourself at least 20 minutes to allow that clay to dry. And as that clay dries and it tightens, you want to imagine that it is drawing out the things that you are ready to release. Allow your intuition and your spirit to guide you during this whole drying process. Now you can sit or you can lie down in meditation, or you can go outside and connect with Mother Earth. Now I ain't finna do that. It's freezing ass cold here in Pittsburgh, but if you in a space where you can do that, I would encourage you. Or maybe you feel complete, like being completely present, being still, and honoring this whole process that we're completing. However you want to do it, whatever and what have you. But once that clay is dry, you want to return to the bathroom and you want to wash that clay away in your sink or in the shower or whatever. And feel the water cleanse, clear, and purify you. Watch as what you've released, it runs down the drain in that form of clay. And then to close this purifying ritual out, get you a cream that really nourishes your skin. Or maybe some coconut oil, because coconuts hold that protective vibration. I'm liking that. And put that on the area that the clay had covered. And as you spread that cream on your body, or the oil, whatever, what have you, send yourself healing and uplifting energies. Because now you got space for them. You done cleared out some things. And don't forget to shout that koala out. Thank the koala for helping you release these things that you no longer need to carry. You gonna leave that shit back in the year of that wood snake. So as we move forward in this energy of the fire horse, baby. Oh, we gonna get this business, no doubt about that. And so when that fire horse years kicks in, we're gonna be experiencing a solar eclipse that's gonna be taking place in Aquarius. And the goddess Oshun is coming through, which is on the other end of that particular energy, because Leo energy, it taps into the goddess Oshun. Now we can dispute whether or not, because it's a Venusian vibration, but there's a sunny disposition and energy in my experience when I connect to the goddess Oshun, which is probably with that yellow, that peacock, that whole particular vibration. See, that's a Leo tap in my particular, in my eyes. This is how I see it, This is my podcast. I get to see it the way the hell I want to see it. You understand? But the goddess Oshun comes through, reminding us about that modesty, no doubt, but also moving forward. As we move forward in this year of the fire horse, that if we want to encourage that love, that connection, that community, to encourage love, find the beauty in yourself. And so with that, I hope that this was helpful, because we closing out some cycles. We go cleanse that energy. And I give thanks for the divine plan of love that's unfolding. I give thanks for that koala that came through with a powerful practice for us to close out this particular cycle and really allow ourselves to bring beauty and divine light into that process as we nourish our skins moving forward, cleansing it and clearing it in this particular beautiful, purifying ritual. I sincerely hope that this was helpful for you, family. Peace and light. Peace and love.